That's really nice to see. And the colors are very, very vibrant. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Is It Worth It, where I go around the world and the internet looking for art supplies to make your life just a little bit easier, or for you to enjoy the craft just this much more. Now today we are going back to one of my favorite stores that keeps bringing more and more stuff. Whether it's good or bad, we are still finding out. We always check them out, but we are headed back to Five Below because they just keep bringing me more art supplies to try. And today we are looking at the Artist Concepts Premium Blending Marker Kit. 16 markers. It's a 16 markers, but it's got two blenders in it. But once again, Five Below for 16 markers. If these are any good, I mean, you can't beat that deal. So, you know, for the most part, I would say Five Below has been bringing some pretty quality stuff to the table. Some of them, you can leave or take. It's completely up to you. But I will always send people to Five Below to get really good art supplies at a very cheap price. But we're going to try these out and see whether or not they are actually worth it. And you all know that there is only one way to figure out if they are in fact worth it. So come on, let's go check them out. All right, so as you can see, it's in a nice tin. I really appreciate how much Five Below will put in. I mean, Artist Concepts, we've done a couple of their materials, but I do like the fact that they give you these carrying cases. It's always really nice. Premium marker, blending marker, they're non-toxic. They claim that they are great for blending, and they give you not one, but two blending markers. So, let's crack this bad boy open. All right. Now the case itself is pretty nondescript, so if you forget what you have, you will absolutely not know what in the world you are working with. All right, there we go. There's... Okay, come on. This is the one part that I absolutely hate, is how, they make it secure so that it's not worth stealing in the store, but in all honesty, it's like, why wouldn't you just take the entire container if you were gonna... Anyway, it's a nice little case, right? Cute. See, that's really nice. It's a very cute little case, right? If you have it in there, they're very secure, so they will not fall out, so that's really good. And that one's trying, but, pretty much they all just stay in there, so that's good. Go ahead and snatch all of them out now. All right, these are two blenders. We want to keep those out. Get rid of this case. Okay. So, it by itself, it feels pretty plasticky. As I've mentioned on multiple different videos, the plastic can either feel cheaper or not cheaper, and this is kind of cheap. As far as the feel goes, it is the size of, I would say, a regular pencil, right? Right? So if you get the regular mechanical pencil, it's about the same size, right? So not longer. So you know that there's not a lot of ink in these, but still, there's enough ink in here to obviously get the job done. It's got a nice snap. I could feel that, right? It was very hard to get off, so that's good. So it's got a great snap. The brush looks amazing though, right? Nice, comes to a nice fine tip, but also has a wider side, so you can actually get nice wide strokes and very detailed strokes. It's a very, very nice there. It posts, right, which is always nice. I still can't believe that there are pens and markers being made that will not post, right? So you can lose the cap, but so that's good. And as we said, right, it's very secure, and it's got the lip, so if it's not really going to roll too far. If it roll, so that's good. On its own, it is a round barrel, so if you don't have the cap on, it will roll right off. But it does look like there's a lot of ink coming in here, so that should be really good. Just checking to see. I mean, it doesn't, we're going to find out if it's really alcohol based or water based, but we're going to check that out. As usual, we have our Bristol board smooth 300 series to test out our stuff. So we're just gonna snatch that page out, and we're gonna find out about these colors. All right, so there are your colors. I have to say, these are very vibrant. These are very vibrant colors. Most of them really do match, but then some of them really don't. You know, like this light blue is this color right here. So with this, I would highly recommend getting an artist, like a little proof sheet, so that you can tell, because some of them, right, some of them are really close to their color, and then others are really not, you know, but it's not too bad. We clearly have markers that are supposed to go together, right? So we have predetermined blends. This one too, these 4, right? So those are all there, already made to try to blend them together. This yellow though, so this is, yeah, this, make sure. Yeah, so this looks kind of green, right? And it turns into like highlighter yellow. So I guess you have to determine where you want to put that. But so they're giving you at least a couple combinations to try out and put together. So that's good. Now, as far as the brush goes, all right, look, it's just, I mean, nice thin lines, right? You can, well, they're medium. They're nice medium lines, I would say. They're not too thin. You start hitting it on the side, you get thicker lines, and then if you really push it off onto the side, right, you can get these really nice thick lines. There's a lot of variety that's happening. So, but ultimately, right, you're gonna get this kind of medium line. It doesn't pool, which is nice. Like there's no, at the beginning, there's no like dot of color, and then your color comes out. So that's really nice on how that kind of flows. And for the most part, I can be honest and go, the ink goes from first line all the way to the last line and is just a very nice ink line. And when you cross over things, it doesn't look as though it's like, oh, this is lighter, this is darker. So you might actually get, we're gonna go over it a couple times, and it's, so these are alcohol-based markers, just based on the amount of times that I can go over something and it not tear up the paper. So you get 16 alcohol markers for brush markers for $5. That's really good, right? And the nice variety on there. And because the brushes all look the same, right, you're gonna get kind of that same coverage no matter what color you use, right? So that's good, right? And the ink flow, like I said, the ink flow just goes very nicely from one to the next. So that's really nice to see. And the colors are very, very vibrant. But the one, you know, like the really big thing for me is the fact that you have such nice ink flow. Like it just, from one to the other, it just keeps going. And then, right, so if you come in, you can actually get this very nice, solid color with these markers. Like this is great. Like these are fantastic. For $5, you can't, like, that's just crazy. Okay. So that's, I mean, that's just really nice. And let's see here. So we've got some colors. So we're gonna try and blend these. So we're just gonna make some nice, all right, look at that yellow. That yellow is fantastic, right? And then we're gonna come with this one. with this one. All right, so these are all in the kind of color family. I'm gonna try one of these Blendo markers. I don't know so much about these. The blending marker is just obliterating the color. I mean, so that'll give it a really nice effect, but I mean, look at how it kind of, I mean, look at that. It's just so much alcohol in there that it is just kind of destroying that line. But right, if I want to, I can create a really interesting effect with it trying to almost trying to erase that. So you could definitely get something to make it a lot lighter, but it is definitely, I don't think that using this one's too strong for the blend. And it just, like I said, with this yellow to here, like it's got that nice thing, but it just really kind of hurts that a lot. Now I think that if we are trying to come in and do a yellow, and then we come in and try and do this next to it, right? And then we want to come back in with this yellow. I think that's how you're going to get more of a nice blend going on. All right, and then you can come back. Right, and then maybe we can come in and be like, all right, we need that. Right, if we just kind of lightly touch it, right, to try and get rid of that edge, we can get a nice, but you can't put too much down, otherwise it's gonna completely pull up all of your colors. But you see, so you can get a nice blend. That's pretty nice, just come in a little bit. But if you could come in and actually kind of touch things up, you can actually get some really nice stuff going on in here, right? And just blend that right out. Bam. Right? So you can get a nice color transition. But whoo, that jump might be too much. That might be too much of a jump, especially since it's probably a little bit backwards. So let's try that again. We'll do this color here, and then we'll do this color here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Getting a little dryness. It's already too dry. Well, we might be seeing the effects of an actual $5 bin, right? Marker, because it's like, oh, these are kind of out of juice. Some of them, though, they're like really good. They're nice and full, but anywhere you could have a manufacturing issue, right? But yeah, I'm not a big fan of this this blending marker. There's just way too much alcohol in it, and so it really just obliterates. Now, I mean, if you're just gonna come in and go 1, 2, maybe, right, to make it a little bit lighter, like we have here, right? Like this yellow has a nice blend, right? But we went over it with yellow, and then we went over it with this, and then we went over it with yellow, and we kind of lightly touched it. You could get this kind of nice blend going on, but if you just go over it, it's just gonna completely obliterate your stuff. Now, it's kind of cool if you want to, you want to write something, you could actually, come in and pull out all of the ink that's on it, right? And you're like, haha, look, now we have secret words and stuff like that. So something interesting there, but still, So I'm going to flip this over real quick, and let's get some of these. Let's see. I'm going to try some of these markers. This one, Faber-Castell. We got Edding, King Art, and where's my Tombow? Okay, so we got Tombow, and then Stedler, Edding, and King Art. All right, and so as usual, we're gonna take some of the lighter colors and we're gonna go over it. Because as we know, the lighter colors are the ones that will always have the most alcohol in it. And it's generally what pulls up any of the color or the ink. And I mean, we can just try that. Try the blending, the blender. All right, so I have to say that these markers do not like Tombow. I mean, the lighter colors, right? So Tombow bled on the lighter colors, but then on the blue and pink, it really didn't. Stedler bled. It does not like Stedler at all, right? Pulled that up. Edding, it pulled up on the yellow and the highlighter yellow, and then not really much here. But King Art was unfazed by any of the color, and even the blending marker that is pure alcohol, nothing, right? So if you are planning on using these artist concept markers, these brush markers from Five Below, then you are going to want to use King Art pens with them. That way you do not have to worry about whether or not it is bleeding. All right, so we just got done reviewing the Artist Choice Five Below Premium Blending Markers, and I have to say, for $5, go pick these up, right? These are actually really fun to work with. I don't think that you need to use the blending marker because it has too much of the alcohol or the acetone in there, and it really just pulls up all of the color, which makes it really hard to blend if you do not have a soft touch, right? So if you can go in there and realize, oh, I only need like 1 stroke or 2 strokes to kind of blend out the color where it's touching the lighter color to the medium color, then you're gonna have a hard time and it's gonna be an issue. But if you do light to medium and then bring the light back over where the medium and light touch, then you can get a nice blend and you don't have to worry about it. And the ink flow is absolutely phenomenal. From when you put the brush down to when you pick it back up, the ink is going to flow. It's really nice. It doesn't pool at the beginning, which is something that happens with a lot of markers. I think that the brush is really helping with that, so you don't have to worry about it pooling at the very beginning. And so these markers are actually really nice for the price. Like, you can't fight the price on these, and so I do recommend these markers, especially if you're just starting out. They give you a good enough vibrancy with the color, it's blendable, and it's the brush marker, which seems to be everyone's favorite. And so you can really test these out. It comes in a nice case, and it's just really good. So I definitely would recommend going to Five Below, picking you up a pack, and trying them out, and see if these are going to become your new favorite marker in your arsenal. Well, that wraps up today's episode. I hope that you learned something and that the information was useful in some way, shape, or form. If you have any product or materials that you would like me to review, go ahead and drop it in the comments below and I will add it to the list. If you are new to the channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the bell so that you get notified every single time that I drop new content. Thank you all so very much, and I will see you at the next episode.